This is the Nintendo community asking for a brand new Metroid game. This is also the Nintendo community the day the game comes out. Hey there everyone, MonadoMax here, and today we're going to be discussing the importance of Metroid Dread and the future it has for other Nintendo properties. The things that no one's really talking about. So let's dig right into the video. So one thing I want to talk about first is the fact that everyone's been asking for a brand new Metroid game, and when they finally somewhat made a new one, I know it was a remake, when it came out on the 3DS, Metroid Samus Returns, it didn't really sell well. I think it went a little bit over 1 million copies, but those are not great numbers considering the amount of people that was asking for a Metroid game. So let's talk about Metroid Samus Returns. The numbers for this game doesn't really make sense if we look at the Metroid community and Nintendo community that kept saying, hey, we want a brand new Metroid game. Nintendo, where are the Metroid games? The game sold semi-successful. It was over 1 million copies, but those numbers don't add up if you look at the amount of people that was asking for a brand new Metroid game. I bring this up for other franchises like Kid Icarus Uprising. When people were asking for a brand new Kid Icarus game, Nintendo delivered, and it sold well. It wasn't like it was a flop. None of these games really flopped, but they didn't sell like it should have. Kid Icarus Uprising, I think, is at right now over 2 million copies. I might be wrong about that, but if we look at the amount of people that was asking for these games, these sales numbers do not add up. You can also use this for Star Fox. A lot of people was asking for a brand new Star Fox game, and Nintendo did deliver on a brand new Star Fox game on the Wii U. It was called Star Fox Zero. That game didn't even sell 1 million copies. Granted, it was a bad game, but the sales numbers, they're not there, and it's very important that people buy Metroid Dread. If, I'm going to bring up F-Zero. A lot of people want a brand new F-Zero game. And the reason why we don't have one is because every time Nintendo does these old franchises, revives them, all of that stuff, the numbers don't perform excitingly well. And we have a chance to do that with Metroid Dread. We have so many people asking for a new Metroid Dread game. And, I'm kind of surprised we're still getting this considering, Samus Returns didn't sell that well. I would have thought they would have waited maybe till Metroid Prime 4 releases, see how that performs, then make a brand new 2D game. But here we are, we have a Metroid Dread game. And the fact Nintendo is going all out on the Metroid series right now is exciting for other reasons than just the Metroid community. Like, if this game sells well, we have a lot of Metroid coming to the Switch. We have Metroid Dread, we have Metroid Prime Trilogy. It's not confirmed, but we all know that's happening. We have Metroid Prime 4. These are 3 big Metroid games, and if all of this sells well, we will probably get a new F-Zero game. I'm going to be honest, I think Nintendo's going to start reviving their old franchises. But you need to buy these games. If you are these people that are like, hey, we need a new game in this entry of franchises, you need to go buy this game. I better see you guys at GameStop day one picking up Metroid Dread. You asked for this game, and if you don't buy it and it doesn't sell well, that's on you, because they're not going to make another new Metroid game for another 20 years or however long it's been since a new 2D games happened. I bring this up again, everyone asks for all this stuff, like a new Kid Icarus, new Star Fox, new Metroid. No one ends up buying these games on day one. If you are one of these people, it needs to change with Metroid Dread. If you want a new F-Zero, or if you want the Metroid series to continue from here on out, you need to pick up Metroid Dread. You need to hope that this game sells well, which right now, looking at the early numbers, I think this is going to sell well. I hope. I mean, it's like almost #1 on Amazon in terms of pre-orders, and everything is selling out with this special edition. This game needs to perform well, and if it does, don't be surprised if we see more old franchises return. We're seeing Nintendo go ahead and bring back a lot of franchises people kind of consider dead, like Advance Wars, WarioWare. If these games sell well, we very well could continue to see this trend of Nintendo bringing back old franchises. The Metroid series is very important to Nintendo. And if Metroid Dread sells well, this could be huge for Nintendo. We have a chance to prove Nintendo wrong on Metroid Dread. They probably have some moderate expectations for this game, and if this sells well, I'm serious, we could get that F-Zero game everyone's been asking for. We could get that Kid Icarus Uprising sequel that everyone wants. You know, I do give the Metroid series a little bit of slack when it comes to the latest entry on the 3DS with Metroid Samus Returns. I always bring up that people were in the Nintendo Switch phase when that game came out. And I guarantee you, that game came out on the Nintendo Switch would have sold way better than it already did on the Nintendo 3DS. I want to make sure I'm making it sound like these games didn't flop. They sold well, they were profitable for Nintendo, but they should have sold more. I don't want people in the comments making it seem like, oh, MonadoMax said Kid Icarus Uprising sold terrible. There's not going to be a sequel. None of these games sold bad except Star Fox Zero. I'm pretty sure that sold really bad for Nintendo. I know that did not even do 1 million copies. So when I talk about this, I just want to make sure people are realizing I'm not saying these games sold bad. All I'm saying is with Metroid Dread, we have the potential to prove Nintendo wrong and see them have that interest of bringing these old games back when Metroid Dread sells well. Me personally, I'm picking this up day one. I better see you at GameStop picking this up or wherever you buy your games from. If you are one of these people asking for Metroid and a brand new 2D Metroid game, this is your time. This is where you need to come through and buy the game. This game is so important for so many reasons than just sales numbers. We finally are having a brand new Metroid game. I'm pumped. I can't believe we're less than 4 months away from this Metroid game. I want to know, are you picking this up? Were you one of these people that have been begging for Metroid to return and now finally getting a Metroid game? Are you going to pick it up? Are you one of these people and you're going to actually pick the game up? I want to know all of that below. One last point I want to bring up when it comes to Metroid Dread. This doesn't really have to do with the importance of the game, but since I'm doing a video on Metroid Dread, I want to talk about this. A lot of people are talking about how this game should not be $60, and I know a lot of this argument stuff happens a lot with Nintendo games, because let's be real, Nintendo prices stuff that shouldn't be $60, but it also ends up selling amazingly somehow every time they do this. And the next argument with this has been with Metroid Dread. And I'm surprised that people are questioning if this game should be $60 or not. Out of everything Nintendo has priced for $60 on their Nintendo Switch lineup, this is one of the games that actually makes sense to be $60. This isn't a port, this isn't a remake, this isn't any of that. This is a brand new 2D Metroid game with a full budget. It's not like an indie game project or anything. This is a full budget game. I don't understand why people are questioning the price. This price point makes sense and should be $60. I mean, this is a brand new game. This is a full-on game. This isn't like a little mini game. This isn't like a $30 game or anything like that. You're getting your money's worth with this game. And I think this argument about this game being not $60, like the fact that that's an argument, I don't know, maybe it's just because everyone has not seen a brand new 2D Metroid game in so long, and that's why they're questioning should it be $60 or not. I personally think this game's worth $60. I want to know, that's another comment, do you think this game's worth $60? I'm just so surprised that that's an argument. Like, I'm seeing no one question WarioWare. I would have thought that would be something where people are like, should this be $50? Well, everyone, I've been talking for too much. I want to know, what did you think of everything I had to say when it comes to Metroid Dread? This game is really important for the future of not just Metroid, but Nintendo franchises, especially the ones that people have been asking for. I want to know everything you guys are thinking. Well, guys, I want you guys to check out my Discord server in the description below. Follow me on Twitter at MonadoMax. MonadoMax. Make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.